One more question is, can financial returns be optimized while maximizing social returns? How can the two be balanced, or are they mutually exclusive?
I don't believe that you have to be either social fully or commercial fully. I definitely think there is a very strong middle path where you can be highly profitable or highly commercial, but also extremely social in what you do. Fundamentally, microfinance itself is a social activity in the sense that you are helping someone access capital at a rate that she is not able to access and on terms which she can never get. That itself, I think, is a good social objective and nothing bad about that. A lot of things that you can build on top of that, and that doesn't really mean that you become unprofitable or you become less commercial, not really.
सही मायने में अगर देखा जाए तो गरीब लोगों का भला नहीं हो रहा है, क्योंकि हम गरीब को और गरीब बना रहे हैं। कि कोई एक मेंबर है, उसको किसी एक MFI ने पैसा दिया, ठीक है, 12,000 10,000 का लोन दे दिया, है ना। दूसरा MFI आता है उसके पास, उसको 12,000 का लोन देके चला जाता है। तीसरा MFI आता है और उसको फिर 10,000 का लोन देके चला जाता है। अब क्या होगा? जो महिला 2,000 रुपए कमा रही है, जिसकी पूरी परिवार की आमदनी मिला करके 5,000 भी मान लो, तो 3,000 घर के खर्च में जा रहा है, 2,000 रुपए उसके पास बच रहा है, तो वो उसको भी 4 MFI को एक साथ पैसा कहाँ से दे देगा? मेंबर क्या करता है, यहाँ से पैसा उठाता है, इसको दे देता है, इससे उठाता है, इसको दे देता है। तो वो पैसा तो ये कहाँ गया? MFI के घूम के MFI के पास चला गया। एक्चुअल में उसकी मतलब उसकी तरक्की कहाँ हुई? वो तो और उल्टा कर्जदार हो गया।
हम लोग लेने के लिए, हमारी लड़की तो कहीं से कहीं राजी नहीं थी, और यही हम लोगों को लगता था कि कहीं ऐसा न हो कि कोई बात ऐसी अचानक आ पड़े तो हमारे पास तो सिर छिपाने की जगह भी नहीं रहेगी सर। एक थोड़ी सी झोपड़ी, उससे भी हम उजड़ जाएंगे। लेकिन फिर भी इन लोगों ने हर तरह से समझाया बुझाया, अच्छी बात समझाई, बुरी नहीं समझाई। इन्होंने गरीबों के लिए ये किया, लेकिन साथ साथ में किया तो उनकी गरीबी नहीं देखी, उनकी गरीबी नहीं देखी। उन्होंने अपना पैसा तसीलने की, आप अपना सामान बेचिए, अपनी औलादों की, यहाँ तक सर शीतल सर ने कहा अपनी औलादें बेच डालिए, हमको पैसे से मतलब है।
The sector started essentially with doing good. Now what happened as the sector grew is that the need for funds for onward lending started growing. It increasingly had to look for outside sources. So once the donor money started drying up, they had to look for banks to lend, to borrow money from in order to lend, and the banks would then start insisting that they have certain capital adequacy requirements. The capital providers started coming in, and there was a vicious cycle that got created as a result of that. As more and more capital providers came in, not everybody was socially minded, and then came the pressure on the MFIs to grow in order to keep attracting more and more capital for a good cause. But that obviously created a dilemma within the organization, how to do the balancing act. Obviously, when you're serving the poor, then the clear contradiction is in the rate of interest. The basic requirement for profitability is a high interest rate, and when you do that, obviously you're not helping in poverty alleviation.
With the advent of commercial capital into the sector, these questions have to be addressed, and it's part of responsible corporate citizenship. So people, the companies and the boards which are running these microfinance institutions have to demonstrate at all times that this business is being built with the empathy for the segment, and you have to differentiate between profit and profiteering. So clearly, how do you demonstrate that you're making profits but you're not profiteering from the poor? Because profiteering from the poor is wrong, but making profits by eliminating the poverty premium for the poor is not wrong.
And finally, within the context of a rapidly changing environment, what is the future of the microfinance sector in India?
I really see microfinance sort of splitting or resolving into two parts. One which is going to be primarily developmental microfinance, no doubt maybe run by for-profit entities. And then there will be commercial microfinance, which will be sort of more like a small ticket loan business, and that is more likely to become the adjunct of banks sooner or later, of commercial banks. Government as well as lenders, particularly development financial institutions, social investors need to be able to distinguish between these two types of MFIs. You know, while both may be considered valid, you may want to save your special dollar for the one you think is doing something special, and the others can just go to the regular capital market. There will be hiccups throughout, any growing sector there will be hiccups, but I am very optimistic about the growth of the sector. I think it will grow in scale, I think it will grow in scope, the sustainability will increase. The trick is the fourth S, social impact. If we can maintain high social impact also, then we'll get the fifth S, which is stature. If we don't, we should not opt for or look for stature. We'll be one more Mahajan.
There are no two opinions that the microfinance sector is fulfilling a felt need of the poor. However, the real challenge in front of the enlightened stakeholders is to remain focused on the poor, for whose benefit the sector came into existence. It's raison d'être.